Hello, I'm Hudson Hollister. I'm the Executive Director of the Data Transparency Coalition. 4 years ago this week, Congressman Darrell Issa and Senator Mark Warner introduced the Data Act in Congress. Their ambitious goal from the beginning was to transform federal spending from disconnected documents into open data. That transformation is our agenda too at the Data Act Summit 4 years later. The term open data is getting a lot of use, so let's take a minute to define it. As far as the Data Act is concerned, open data means two steps. First, standardize. Second, publish. Yeah, you can take a seat, y'all. It is rather awkward to have everybody standing. First, standardize. Second, publish. First, the Data Act requires the federal government to take the whole vast structure of spending information and impose consistent data standards. And second, the Data Act requires the federal government to take all that information and publish it for everyone to see. The Data Act was introduced 4 years ago this week, and I'd like to ask each of you, if you work on federal spending, what were you doing 4 years ago this week? Think about that. Think about June of 2011. What were your stresses? What were your challenges dealing with federal spending? Today we'll be talking about what your work could be like 4 years from now this week. What changes might we see in federal spending as a result of the adoption of data standards? If you use federal spending as part of your job, might it, 4 years from now, be possible to follow the whole life cycle of federal spending information from congressional appropriation to treasury account to agency obligation to award to subaward? If you represent a grantee or a contractor, maybe 4 years from now it'll be possible for your systems to report automatically, freeing you from copying and pasting. And if you represent a federal CFO's office, perhaps 4 years from now, it will be possible for you to be free of data calls and deploy analytics without spending as much on extraction, transformation, and loading. These are the changes that data standards can make possible if the people in this room work on it, and the reason why we're here is to work on it together. We've got an action-packed day planned with keynotes from Inspector General Michael Horowitz of the Department of Justice and Senator Mark Warner, and we hope that you stay for our special colloquium at 4:30 featuring Grover Norquist and Ralph Nader, who would have thought, explaining how different political stripes can agree on the need for spending data. I started the Data Transparency Coalition 3 years ago because there had to be an industry voice in favor of this transformation. If the emerging open data industry can republish, can analyze, can automate government information and provide value for citizens, then we should say so. Then we should be asking Congress to pursue reforms like the Data Act. And that's exactly what we've been doing over the past few years. Beginning with Teradata, now with 35 members, the companies of the Data Transparency Coalition are supporting this transformation, and through events like this one, they're making it happen, and so we're grateful for them. I'd like to next call up one of those companies. We're grateful to our presenting sponsor, Workiva, and I'd like to ask you all to help me welcome the former Deputy Chief Accountant of the SEC, somebody who's been involved in standardizing government data for many years, the Vice President of Workiva, Mike Starr.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Everybody doing good this morning? You ready? On behalf of my colleagues at Workiva, it's my pleasure to welcome you to the Data Summit 2015. 150 years ago, Abraham Lincoln said, "Give the people the facts and the country will be safe." Today, the Data Act is doing that. Today, the Data Act provides for a technological transformation, as Hudson said, from non-searchable documents to open data. The Data Act will make federal spending completely transparent. Most people, when they think about the words technology and transformation in the same sentence, have two thoughts. It's going to be real expensive, and it's going to take a long time. Well, today, there are cloud-based solutions that don't require any system changes. There are cloud-based solutions for reporting data that enable real-time collaboration by those responsible for preparing the data-centric reports. Today, those solutions allow for the reuse or repurposing of the data for both external and internal uses. Today, you can enable efficiencies in business processes by using those solutions. So I encourage you, during your free time on breaks, after you have your lunch, visit the exhibitors outside and see how we can make this transformation come to life, and do so without the pain of costly changes to systems. Again, on behalf of my colleagues at Workiva, welcome to Data Summit 2015. Thank you.
The Data Act transformation is going to require great efforts by a couple of key federal constituencies, by financial managers, by information managers and CIOs, and that's why we're honored to have as partners for our summit today the organizations that represent them. I'd like to first welcome Ann Eberts, the CEO of the Association of Government Accountants.
Good morning, and thank you, Hudson, for hosting this incredible event. For those of you that are not familiar with AGA, we are an association, 15,000 strong, across the country, US, Guam, Puerto Rico, Mexico, and Japan. So we are an international association as well. And our focus has been on learning, certification, leadership, and collaboration for professionals focused on advancing government accountability. And what better way for us to partner up with an organization such as the Data Coalition around the Data Act, which is all about collaboration and advancing government accountability. We've been very fortunate to have great access to OMB, Treasury, as well as Health and Human Services with their pilot leaders to get information from them that we can then turn around and share with our stakeholders. Our name is Association for Government Accountants. However, we are so much more than just accountants. We are grants managers. We represent budget analysts, financial management professionals of all kinds, information systems professionals that are supporting shared services, development of IT products that enable us and you to have better access to data, have better controls of data, and leverage that data to make better decisions for our government projects. AGA hosts events throughout the year, but the key thing that we try to do is bring together our stakeholders, which represent, as Hudson is fond of saying, the entire chain of custody for spending. So we represent federal, state, and local government financial managers, as well as nonprofit, higher education, and private sector. So we truly have, all levels of government and recipients and in-recipients of federal funding. So we're very much appreciative of being able to participate today, to be able to serve our members by enabling collaboration and coordination and communication. One of the key things that OMB and Treasury have been able to do and working with us and giving access to us and to our members is the ability to not only share what they're doing in leadership of implementation of the Data Act, but really listening to our members about their concerns, as well as hearing their ideas about how to move forward successfully. And certainly leveraging technology and automation will certainly help all of that. The other thing I guess all of us should be really mindful of too recently is making sure we also have technology to protect that data and make sure that it's not service and availability is not disrupted. So one of the things I do want to point you to is AGA's website. Our intergovernmental program, our intergovernmental partnership program led by Helena Sims, who's here with me today, and Kim Jones, has recently released, or we've gone live with our Data Act Hub, which is for our members and anybody that hits the AGA website is a one-stop shop for the Data Act, the data elements, presentations, articles, briefings, white papers that have been prepared to give people access to know what is going on, and we're updating this all the time, so please feel free to hit our website and get access to that information. And again, thank you, Hudson, for having us here, and I'm looking forward to the session today, so I hope you all are too. Thank you.
And keep clapping, because we're welcoming Dan Chenok.
Thank you, Hudson, and good morning, everybody. I am Dan Chenok. I'm the chair of the Industry Advisory Council, which is the industry half of a government-industry collaborative association, the government side being the American Council for Technology. Thanks, Ann, for giving us a great intro on the importance of technology to the implementation of the Data Act. The association ACT-IAC, as the acronym is known, is really all about using technology to improve government in many different ways and working with many different constituencies, the financial management community, the acquisition community, program managers. So we do a wide variety of programming. We have a table outside along with the AGA where you can learn more about the association. And we're really happy to be here working in partnership with the Data Coalition and the work that Summit's done. And this is part of a series of activities that we have ongoing on the Data Act. We're led by Herschel Chandler, who's here with us in the audience, who has probably worked with many of you on these initiatives. We were pleased to have Hudson and Amy Hazeltine join us at a Data Act session at a recent major conference that we held. And then after today, we're going to look to continue the momentum. So mark your calendars for July 29th, when we'll have a Data Act forum. Bring your kids, because there will be a data zoo there at the forum, and you'll be able to have, as well as a data-thon. So we're really looking to take advantage of those efforts. You can, again, like the AGA, go to our website. We have an initiative with a number of the activities that we're working on kind of highlighted there. That's at actiac.org. And you can find also there some of the white papers that we have as well. So we're really pleased to be part of this broad industry coalition along with the AGA, the Data Coalition, and all of you working with government to try to make this implementation of this very important statute successful. We look forward to learning from the discussion today, from discussing that with all of you, and let's get on with the show. Thanks.